Okay, let's begin. So thank you for coming to the Eat with the Owner.
It's my pleasure.
And it is the second time.
I feel so honored.
You're the first one that take two.
I am.
Take two. And also you're the second guest of the Eat with the Owner episode 2. It's amazing.
Very happy.
Two, so the same number.
Very happy to be here. Thank
Great.
you for having me.
Yeah. Great. Thank you very much. It's great being almost 2 years. A year and it's almost 2 years. A year and a half. And to see any updates from you and to get new ideas from you.
Well, a lot has happened since I've seen you the last interview.
So. Great. We don't have to just introduce your name, Heidi.
Yes, my name. Do I speak to? My name is Heidi Small. I just turned 49 years old yesterday.
Oh,
March
happy
29th.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
I said that on Instagram, but I have to see.
It's my birthday. It could still be today. It's like the birthday month, which will end tomorrow. And I feel grateful to be alive. Our city is beautiful. I feel grateful. Life is good. And I'm very excited for warm tea on this very cold day.
It's a good tea, actually. It's a special tea.
Special tea for a special birthday girl?
Yeah. And also, every Chinese family, they all have good green tea. Yeah, it's somehow, you don't see that in a...
Oh, yeah.
Like in the restaurant, we sell I tell all customers, very basic, very basic green tea we sell in the restaurant. But like every family, I brought this one from home.
The good stuff.
Yeah, it's a special one. It's always like every family has a...
It's delicious, thank you. So what have you learned in the last year about your guests? Do you grab a little something from everybody?
Yeah, it's amazing. Like that's why even the video could be like maybe too long, too boring, but it's like good to know people's stories. Doesn't matter like people famous or not so famous, but everybody has their own stories, including mine.
Mm-hmm. I love your story.
I guess people probably, if I look at the video, I recorded like today is 47, the episode 47. Probably I guess myself look at the video, watch the video, I thought, I would say probably I said too much. I share too much, That's my thing. My daughter also, she's 10, she talks a lot. That's probably from me. My wife is kind of not talking too much.
Well, maybe she
has a big hammer.
Oh.
That's a big hammer that, the people, they talk less.
Yes.
They're very tough.
Yes.
But like I do a lot of small talks, I overshare.
I'm very okay with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
My daughter is 10 and she's crazy, non-stop talking.
So between you and your daughter, who gets a word in? Who's the more talkative?
She does not like me. I guess she does not talk to me too much. But she's with friends, with her mom, talks a lot actually. I like that personality.
So you had Balarama before me. You had the party leader.
Yeah, he's very cool.
He's
very, very cool and
inspiring.
Seriously, I read the book. I knew him like on the social media, on the news, but then I read the book. It's really shocking, especially the ashram.
Mm-hmm. How he grew up with his mom.
Yeah, that's amazing. I look up that word. It's a new word to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And just segueing into the last year that I had, it was because I read his story and learned about him before he wrote the book, of course. Yeah. That's why I decided to help him in the campaign, just when he had announced that he was going to run.
Okay, so you knew him like...
just like I was introduced at a party. We were introduced at an event at the Four Seasons between Jojo Flores, the DJ Jojo. He has a restaurant, Junior, on Notre Dame. And he's like, Heidi, I want to introduce you to someone. And he brings me over to this man, and I'm like, hi. And he's like, this is Balarama, this is Heidi. And then we became friendly, and I learned about him. And then he's like, you've got to be part of my campaign. And because of the way that he is in his story, and I was so inspired, I'm like, okay, I will do and help in any way. And he's like, okay, now you're going to run in Westmount in downtown Montreal. I was like, okay. It was such an honor. Truly, it was an honor. It was a life-changing experience.
It's amazing. I always say people really brave to break into this politics. World. Yeah, this political world is. I would never be that part of the. I like politics. I really do because I have interest to listen to all the views on the politics. Also at the same time to practice my English. So that's you always learn a language when you get a lot of interest. You like those topics, like those stuff. So
you're reading the articles,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
doing a podcast, you're getting all that.
Yeah. So that's my way of getting the information from this new world.
Mm-hmm.
But since I'm 40 this year, I'm 43. In the summer, I will be 44. But even I'm 60 years old, 70 years old, but I'm always a learner. Myself, I always learn stuff. I want to get all the information I could. It's beautiful world, so I don't want to miss out, like living a tunnel, living a little pond.
Well,
little well, we call the. Do you have that in English as well? It's an expression like you are frog sitting in a well. No, really?
Really?
In Chinese, we have that famous saying like you are just a frog sitting in the well, looking at the sky. You thought the sky is only that big.
That circle.
Yeah, only that circle.
I love
Really?
that. I had never heard of that. I love that.
Oh,
I'm going to take that with me.
If you say it's not existing in English, it must be true.
It's beautiful saying, but I think
a frog sitting in the well, watching the sky.
You touch something about being curious in life. To stay curious keeps you, I think, alive. Right?
I really feel like you have to get more stuff, know more stuff about this world. That's why learning. I supposed to say that learning French in Quebec, but the English is the best language in the world to get most information. That's I felt like really keep learning all the time. So I'm not using Chinese too much because I think my Chinese is very decent already. Been staying in China for 25 years.
Yeah. You're like, that's good.
Yeah, that's very solid foundation. So I don't want to improve too much on that front. So English all the time after that, like really nonstop. So when I cut vegetables, when I prepare stuff like washing dishes, I always listen to stuff.
You're a very interesting man.
I try always be a student.
Absolutely.
Sometimes my views, my ideas could be very silly or naive, or some people saying, you kind of on the left or on the right. I always tell people I'm always changing my view on things. So I'm not loyal to any kind of camp or whatever. I'm right in the middle. But on certain topics here or there, but I want to see different views. But my views on certain things, I probably change over like a year or even several months.
You're growing as a person.
Yeah. So if people, I always say, if people always have the same opinion over 10 years on certain topics, that probably you don't get new information.
Very well said.
I'm always changing.
Very well said. And so in light of Balarama's announcement when he was running, you're right, it takes bravery because
it's crazy.
I have that childlike curiosity that you talk about, wanting to learn. And people complain. People love to complain. Everybody has the answers when they're sitting around their dinner table. But it's like, who gets up away from the table, rolls up their sleeves and wants to do something about it? That's kind of where he got me, because I like to roll up my sleeves and get involved in.
I'm the guy standing behind. Seriously.
Well, we all have our strengths, right?
My role is always in the shadow.
He knew that I had.
But I think I'm smart, to be honest.
Yes.
I think I'm really smart. But I could be the analyst. I could be an assistant to a lot of, the decision makers. But I really look at a lot of things, observing. I know. I really do think I kind of really logical. But I always stay in the behind.
Okay, well, like I said, there's strength in every position.
That's why I always admire people. Really brave to take the lead. You have to take when you are the leading person, the attack will always on you.
Yeah, I didn't fully understand when Balarama asked me, and I said yes. I said it with a willingness to learn and less about worrying of all, because we all get in our own way. You start worrying and then you get frozen with fear and then you say no to all these wonderful opportunities. I'm like, I jump off the cliff and then I land and I'm like, oh, there was a rock there that could have sliced me in half. There was a rock there that could have killed me. But I just go. I just trust. Like, you just need a little bit of a trust. You like the person. You feel like they have something important and of value. And that's all I need. And then it's kind of like a blind faith, but a lot of courage for sure.
You're super brave.
Yeah.
When I first saw your like post and even the street sign, the post, it's crazy. This is Heidi Small.
I know. That's what I thought. And my kids are like going downtown. I have one daughter's downtown at Concordia. One daughter takes the bus into the plateau. So she goes along Sherbrooke and she's like, Mom, I would be at a red light on the bus, all these people, and we're all staring at your poster. I'm like, that's my mother.
Yeah.
So, yes, it was wild.
It's a great picture, though. Great photo. Beautiful photo.
Everyone's like, how come you're not smiling? I'm like, this is a serious job.
Serious issue. Serious.
Women can be many things. I could be smiling on the inside, but I had a very reflective look. But it's interesting because my kids had a problem at the end of the election. It was an experience for them. And we sat down and we had a family meeting because they were feeling so many different emotions. And it was an eye-opening conversation. My daughters were saying, who's our mom? Like, we see you in the kitchen making us dinner in sweatpants, and then we see you on a poster and you're running in this campaign, and then we see you in front of a camera and you're running and doing interviews. Like, who are you? Which one? And I kind of had to take a deep breath because part of me was a little bit angry, to be honest. I'm like, what do you mean? How do you not know who your mother is? But I took a breath because these are my daughters watching me and I feel an extra responsibility as a woman. I said, I'm all of those people. I'm many different parts. Women do not have to be just one thing. We don't just have to be a mother or a wife or a caretaker or a businesswoman. We can be everything. So one day I'm here, one day I'm there, but that makes a full rounded person. And I'm trying to show you as girls and women growing up, you can be anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't ever think that you have to be just one thing. They were like, okay, we're sorry. I'm like, no, it's not about saying sorry. It's about like opening up your mind to know that everything I'm doing out there is for you. So it was a big learning moment in the house, I have to say. Yeah.
It's like they expose this experience. It's great to them too. You have to. It's not straight. You have all kinds of different things.
It's not linear at all.
Yeah, exactly.
It's exciting, and at the end of it, they were asking me if I was upset because I didn't win, and I truly said all along the way, I did win. I won when I said yes to this opportunity. The journey was the win. It was never going to be on the election day. I wasn't even thinking about that. It was like in the moment, who I am as a person, enjoying how many women my age at 48 are like, hi, would you like this opportunity? I mean, it's a call. It's like, okay, I'm like, I'll do it. And it was a beautiful win in and of itself, just to be asked.
Also the experience, it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's like learning a new language or listening to something and a new curiosity. It's being able to expand yourself in that way. It was wild. I would do it over 100 times more.
Yeah, that's the thing. I kind of you see a lot of different people like they have. Sometimes if you set the goals too straight or something only on the goals, and then probably you're gonna lose a lot of during the whole process. You're gonna have a lot of experience. More people and ideas and
wonderful people I met.
Just make your life even more.
Enriched.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay, and we can order food. Yeah.
Oh, did you hear I like to eat?
Yeah. No.
I'm only here for the food.
I sent a post 2 days ago. Like I do want the restaurant to be a social place, not only about the food. So I say like people still want to go to the restaurant to eat.
Thank God.
Food is not important.
Thank God. Okay, so are you gonna do the suggestions?
No, you choose. I will eat a little bit less.
You choose. You choose. Give me some of your favorite, like, I love everything. I would love to start with a warm soup. I so love soup.
You want the wonton soup? Wonton soup, one. And then you want the...
I won't say no.
We can try this noodle salad if you like.
Yes.
It has the sesame, it's the sesame paste.
Beautiful.
Okay, that one. And seriously, you can choose it. I always ask people to try the cumin beef.
Okay.
Cumin beef.
Yes.
And eggplant, potato, bell pepper.
Yes.
And then green beans with.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we take that 3.
Yeah.
Okay,
Done.
that should be good.
Done.
Okay. Let me write down.
I'm so excited. I have extra room in my jeans, so there's good stretch.
Actually, I did not eat anything yesterday with.
Oh,
yeah.
You didn't?
No,
What?
because I watch weight every morning, so it's like a girly. I don't mind. To be honest, at this stage, my skin grew thicker and thicker. It's I don't even care. Like last time I said, probably my character is like I probably mentioned last time, like in Chinese literature, classic literature, it's kind of called woman is made of water and a man is made of mud. Yeah. So mud is dirty. And then like a woman is made of water. That's great wisdom.
To clean you boys out.
Yeah. And also it's the shape of water, just adaptive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of the force is by the softness, the water. Yeah. So it's the woman is made of water.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I always say I'm like made of water too. My personality is really soft. I'm not ashamed of that. So.
Well, listen, I appreciate when men are in touch with their feminine side.
Because I don't care. I just want to, experience, the world. I want to see more things, different. If you want to get yourself into specific stuff, it's not worth it. It's okay, great. It will keep rolling and quickly.
I'll see you soon.
See you.
That was fast.
Yeah, it's kind of always running. Yeah, in the restaurant, I always run somehow.
It's like your gym.
Yeah.
It's good.
Is this tea too strong?
No, it's delicious.
It's like red tea. Looks like look at the color.
I know.
It's weird.
Well, I'm a woman. I'm made of water, so it's a perfect mix.
Actually, I put 2 bags of tea.
Am I going to be up all night now?
I don't know what
the caffeine?
Yeah.
I'll call you in the middle of the night if it's okay.
Green tea is not too bad. The coffee, I found like coffee. I have issues with coffee. Give me a lot of headache. But over the years, I'm getting used to it now. Used to, I was Tim Horton level. It's a French vanilla with a lot of sugar. So at the beginning was only thing I
You
could
were a kid.
Yeah, only thing could take was Tim Hortons French vanilla.
Okay, where are you now in the?
Now it's Starbucks. Give me Starbucks a lot of issue, but Starbucks too expensive. So now I got I got the coffee beans from Costco, and then the manual trying to do that thing, and then you pour that, and there's I guess 1 kilo, around 1 kilo of the beans from Starbucks as well. It's $25 or something, $25. So I can drink it for 2 months.
Ooh.
Really making a lot of economic sense.
Okay, the economist. I love the ritual of making my coffee in the morning. It's actually what gets me out of bed. Okay. So I have the beans, and I have the grinder, and then I have the machine.
Yeah.
And every morning, it's always the thought when I'm in bed, and I'm like, I don't want to get out of bed. But then I'm like, but I want my coffee. And that whole ritual it's one of my favorite ways. It's like meditation.
I just started like 3 months ago or 4 months ago. My friend brought that whole set, the manual set from China.
It slows it all down. Yeah. It's my meditation. And I tell myself those
for
steps.
Me, just saving money.
Okay, but in the end, yes. And it is a wonderful way to save money because I only have 1 coffee a day. So that's why it's like, it's a moment. It stops everything, no emails, nothing. I tell myself at the end of the cup, then I can start. Then I can look at my phone and start answering emails. So I like having those rules to have a bit of quiet time before it gets crazy. Because it's like, the second I start, it's like.
The coffee is really addictive, to be honest.
I don't have an addictive personality at all.
You just feel it. You feel like you're missing something. If like this morning before I came, I had my coffee already. I kind of in the kitchen prepare, and then I set the coffee like filtering, and then drink the coffee. And yesterday I was doing too much work in the kitchen, so I did not have time to have the coffee. So I was having the coffee doing the video. So it's like if I did not have the coffee for that, I felt something missing. Weird. That's addiction.
Well, I guess, but my belief in life is moderation. I never
moderation is the key for everything. Yeah.
Balance and moderation. I never want to be somebody who's like, I'm not doing this. I'm only doing that, because eventually when you hold back from something, you just cave and you're like, and you binge. I'm like, wine in moderation, food in moderation. I never ever say no. It's just like take a little bit of everything.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Then I don't think and dream about binging, and then it's never an emotional reaction with food, because a lot of people ask me how I stay fit eating as much as I do. And I wonder what you think about this, because I haven't proven it with science, but I wonder if there's science to prove. It could be your next podcast research, but I believe the way I was raised around food was love and family. So we sat around the table, food was love, all the feelings around it were healthy and wonderful. So now as a grown woman, when I eat food, it like dances in my body. I feel happiness and joy. Like each moment was the first time I'm ever going to be eating. There's like gratitude, excitement, joy. I eat it, I savor it. And I think mentally and emotionally, when I'm eating my food, it's being welcomed into my body in a happy, positive way. And the flow works. But if you're eating food because you're angry, or you're eating food because you're sad, or you're replacing it with something, your body knows. And I wonder if it changes the digestive patterns, and you start to get, of course, large. But somehow I've maintained this, because I said I haven't been exercising. It's kind of like my proof.
Yeah, that's I told you, it's a blessing of your what is that?
Metabolism.
Yeah, it's the blessing. Some people, like for me, that's why sometimes I watch weight every morning. So if I say the number is too high, so I stop eating too much. Because I see if I eat anything, it will show right away on the scale. It's really weird.
Throw the scale away.
No,
I have no scale, no anything. I just put on my clothes. I'm like.
That's why every time, like in the school, everybody, I don't do the study, but at the end of the exam, you get 97 points. I get 59, 55, 59. The people say I never study. It's the people, they get hate from us. Every time in the university, we have a wall. Always like 2 days after the exam, they post everything, everybody's score on
for everyone to see.
For everybody to see. So you have to. One guy told, okay, the result is out. So everybody rushing there. So you look at the guy. This guy just said after the exam, I did really bad. And then he got 97 points. And you got like 62, lucky 60 points to pass, to get 59. And then you just hit the guy every time, right after the exam. I did not do well. And those guys, I just hit them.
Yeah, I agree.
And then some people like, I eat everything, like you, I eat everything, but I still keep slim. And then I eat,
Yes, but I just want to say one thing to support that. I eat beautiful food, right? Like I'm not going to McDonald's. I don't, there's no fast food in my life.
That's a good thing.
Period. There's nothing from the freezer, period. So I get beautiful fruits and vegetables delivered from a farm.
I'm a total failure on that one. Every night I get home, always eat ice cream.
Well, okay, I like to walk to my corner store and I do get a chocolate bar like some nights of the week when I need to get out of the house. I'm like caramel, Aero, Toblerone. Like I do love chocolate bar.
I think one day I only see a warning sign for me to stop, I guess. But every night, 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night, I eat chocolate. Not chocolate, the ice cream.
What kind? What flavor?
I always, if there's on sale, probably what is that?
Haagen-Dazs?
Yeah, Haagen-Dazs. If the toast is on sale, if not, it's the drumstick from Nestle.
Like the drumstick, like the ice cream cone?
The Haagen-Dazs is the one on the stick.
The one dipped in chocolate, like the single one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
that's the best. The creamy,
nuts.
very creamy. Yeah, on the chocolate outside they are the best.
Yes.
Nobody can beat them.
Yes, you are right.
Yeah, nobody can beat them.
Well, my first job ever was working at Ben & Jerry's ice cream. That's my favorite.
Yeah. But that's all this ice cream, like the shops, like they have. I guess when it's fresh, it's a different level, right? I guess it's way better.
Ben & Jerry's New York Super Fudge Chunk is my favorite. That's my weakness. Yeah.
And the other day I saw your post on Instagram, like you visit like the Auto, the bar Auto.
Bar Auto.
Is that the same bar cross street? The same owner?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, the izakaya. Yeah.
So they closed here or something? Or?
He has.
So they're still open on the cross street?
Yes.
Okay.
He has 3. There's 3. There's I think 2 izakaya around here. He took me, but I don't remember now. St. Mark, maybe on St. Mark.
I guess
We're on
this
St.
one.
Matthew.
St. Matthew, right across right next to the fire station, on the second floor, the Auto.
Maybe I have to find out.
You can see it. Literally, you can see it through the window.
Okay, we have to go and see because I went to one right around here, but I feel like it was on St. Mark.
I always thought it's a Korean, like Korean.
Well, he
the Korean barbecue, like a charcoal barbecue, whatever. Then it's I saw the post is beautiful. Like how do you have time to write so long? So many words.
Well, because I feel it afterwards. I get very
in the Griffintown, right? I saw that in Griffintown.
My mind doesn't stop. It will not let me relax until I write it all down. When I'm in the shower, it's like everything comes to me. I'm like, okay, I just want to get out of my shower. But my body, my mind won't rest until I write everything the way that I feel. And restaurants, owners, chefs, they're my favorite people. There is such an exchange. And I do believe that it's an exchange. It's not just like you could just be anybody and like, give me some food. And then you have this beautiful experience. I think that when you go in and you show such love and appreciation, then...
You help them a lot, actually. So your lot of posts to help them to get exposed to a lot
that's
of
all I
audience.
want. That's my role in life is for that.
Yeah, without your post, like Instagram post, I wouldn't know like the Auto is in Griffintown. I thought always the only Auto is across my street.
See, Han Hak, all the value, it comes back. He's a lovely... I found out about Han Hak because during the pandemic, I think I wrote it in the text, like, I walked around the city seeing
who's surviving,
who needs help after the bomb went off, like looking up at the window. And I was on Notre Dame and I was like, oh, what is this? And I remember I looked and I see him with the toque and he's running around and it's closed, but he was trying to get like the takeout going and all of it. And I sat with him similar to you, just he sat and told me about his life story. And I said, I'm going to help you in any way. And so I'm very good friends with the Prime Minister and his wife. So they call me to tell them where to go and eat and to make reservations. And I always joke and I say, I don't know if you know this, but like you're the Prime Minister, you don't need me to make reservations for you. Like you are good. And he's like, no. And I know why they ask me. It's years now I've helped them with restaurants and food. Because they know that if it comes with me, the food experience, then they're part of the love. And the love of Heidi, and then it comes into the food, and then they're experiencing. When I call Han Hak and I said, the Prime Minister and his wife want your food, because I told them all about you. And then he's like, oh my God. And then he goes to the chef and they're like, oh my God. And then the food, it's like the energy and then the delivery and the experience now is different. So I've stopped asking them, why do you want me and need me to give you recommendations? But then I love to help, in the city and shine the light and get a new person, a new restaurant, a new chef.
You mean the Trudeau family?
Yes.
Trudeau. Really? So you know them? Oh.
Very.
But they were. I read a long time ago. They were their family, Trudeau and the old previous prime minister, his father. The family was the fan of Orchid Lachine, right? There's a Chinese restaurant on the pier.
Yes, of course, everybody. Yes. So now,
last night there was a couple and a lady and they were the fans, loyal customer to that restaurant as well. So we chatted to mention that restaurant.
I've been there many times, and it was an institution.
Yeah.
So yes, my calling is a sense of duty in a way, And even when I was thinking, when Balarama asked me, my first phone call was to Justin. I'm like, what do you think? He's like, it's the most natural thing for you because it's your calling. That's what you love to do, is you love to be in the community and make a difference. And here now you can do it in a different capacity. So
that's amazing. Prime Minister, that's crazy. That's really crazy. So they went eat at Open?
Han Hak delivered to their hotel.
Okay.
And then Sophie went, I set up a whole dinner for her and her friends. They went there a month ago. Okay. So he was so grateful. He's like, just let me make you a beautiful birthday dinner. And so I went.
That's amazing. That's why I find it fascinating for the top people in the food business, the chef. Like that's a really admire their dedication, that kind of stuff. Give me 10 years, I probably will be there. I'm trying to catch up. The 3 years full time in the restaurant. More than 3 actually. The pandemic, more than 3 years ago.
I think so. It's
that's
such a
March.
blur.
Yeah, that's at the beginning of March or February.
Yeah.
Wow. So my theory, myself, I really admire people in the business. They really like the Otto, some other restaurant you mentioned before. They're really doing great. But I'm new to this business. I need to really learn all this stuff.
There's so many admirable leaders in the city that you can look up to who are doing it properly. That it's like the original team of head people to admire. It's wonderful.
But my general impression is during the pandemic, the higher end, the restaurant, they will kind of hit harder during the pandemic. Pandemic is it's like the World War I, like trench war, like a lot of people dead, like brutal, like it's like totally World War I. It's a lot of half of the restaurants kind of died.
They were decimated. Absolutely, that's what I was saying. It was like lifting up the rubble, like. Who's around? Who needs help after, because there was so much loss. I mean, a lot of Beyond the Plate episodes those restaurants are no longer in running, and it's heartbreaking.
It's really tough. It's especially that's why we were lucky because we were small. We were low end. I always say we are low end restaurant. So it's like we are flexible to do we take out, the price was low, so it's easier for us to survive.
The resilience at a certain level.
Yeah, it's easier for us.
Like pizza, if someone's always delivering
I guess pizza they do better actually. Probably they do better. And the sushi takeout, those kind of tiny sushi restaurants, they're doing better than before.
But I think what happened was it unified everyone. Top tier middle tier, the everyday tier.
everyday.
Everybody now shared one thing, which was the world has come to an end. And it unified everyone and it brought everyone's walls down. There's the hierarchy, I feel, is gone. And that, elitist feeling is gone. Everyone's like, do you need help? Do you want to collaborate? I see the chef community reaching out and helping one another in a way that has only become a stronger bond. Everyone's looking now to support and help. From my perspective, I have never in all my years, I've been doing this since 2018, I haven't had a day where I have witnessed anybody have anything negative to say, or I've only seen the camaraderie and the love.
It's amazing. So how many seasons already? I guess the pandemic stopped a little bit, right? Pandemic was a little bit.
No, I actually worked and filmed more during the pandemic than ever, because I had signed a big contract with Canada's 100 Best to film starting in April. So the pandemic started in March. April was my first series that I had to film for season 3. I can't remember. So I was like, I'm going. I'll put a mask on. I'll do the measurement of how, where he has to sit, where I have to sit, a microphone. My cameraman will have a mask on, but I'm filming because actually now it's never been more important than during the pandemic to give the love. So I was very, very strict about I'm filming during the pandemic. So I did. I filmed 10 months straight.
Amazing.
Thank you. So I haven't stopped. I think I'm on season 5. I'm getting ready for the summer to film again because I've slowed it down because everybody kind of now in the restaurant world has slowed down. Before I was like, I want to be this one. I want to be. Now it's like, it's winter. Everyone's like, chill. They don't want to film in the snow. What are we doing? The seasonal vegetables start pumping in the summertime, so I'll start filming again in the.
But even the last time we were here, I just for personal stuff, I don't want to be on the camera with my mask on. I don't want any mask to cover my beautiful face.
I agree. Me too.
They only see the half beauty.
I feel the same.
Then just see the full beauty.
I was like, you can't cover this.
Yeah, exactly.
It has to be all exposed. Even if I have to stand all the way over there. I felt the same way. So it was amazing that I was able to, during the most difficult time, be there.
To mix it.
Be there for the industry when nobody was there. Nobody knew what to do. I was like, okay, I'm going to do Instagram Live. I'm going to talk to everybody. I'm going to be on camera. I'm going to, if they're home and I'm home, then everybody else is home. So I was trying to be innovative at the time when creativity was riding high because you could get creative now. It's like, okay, I have a chef at home stuck in their kitchen. How cool is it that the people get to watch and see just a chef at home? He's used to being in his work kitchen, but now he's at home. It's a different way of seeing them. It kind of made them more accessible. And I think that all the work done during the pandemic, exposing chefs and what they were going through, made everybody run faster to their restaurant to show the support once the lockdown lifted. And it was a good moment in time, I think, to gather the community and the chef community at the same time.
Actually, for this noodle salad, it's better to mix completely. Okay. So actually, first time I show this on camera, just mix completely.
Okay.
And I always warn people, if they're not familiar with this one, do not order it.
It's not for everyone?
Yeah, it's not.
Because it takes work?
It's a kind of a weird texture. It's like a jellyfish.
I love that texture.
Yeah. So try.
Okay. Do you want me to serve you?
No, it's fine. You get your...
I love the slippery.
Yeah, it's like it's very... Some people, they're not familiar. They just don't like it at all.
Wow. Ooh. It's going to be messy. This is going to be messy.
That's what I'm telling you. we never, when you eat messy, you cannot be high end. So we stay all the time on the low end. That's my mission. Our restaurant, like if I have more experience, like after a few years, I always stay.
I understand.
We always stay on the low end.
I understand.
We want to be messy.
I understand. Life is all about being messy.
It's you cannot eat like a queen, rest her soul.
Are you okay? I'm gonna wait for you.
Yeah, it's. I guess one of them is yours.
I was using it to help you.
Just we always give one as a serving fork or serving spoon. I know we used to like in the countryside, like with the family or the friends.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit. You see the jellyfish texture.
Oh yeah.
It's a very strong flavor of the sesame paste.
If you had to make with your own two hands a dish, what would you make without any help from anybody in the kitchen?
I'm very bad at cooking. Very bad. Actually, I cooked for the whole family. We had a family of 7 when I was a kid. So I was the one when I was 7, 8 years old, cooking for the whole family for the summer. Seriously, we have the wok like this big. We call the 10, size 10. Like you put the.
Thank you.
Just have the wok like this big. We have 2 actually. So that whole kitchen setup, like you have 2 wok like this, and you have to feed the hay on the other end to kind of heating the wok. So I guess at 7, because I was the youngest of 3 sons of my mom. So in the village, if you don't have a daughter to help you doing sewing everything, so I can do sewing. I can sew. I do all the girly things because I was the youngest of my siblings. No girl. So my mother kind of raised me as a daughter. So I helped her a lot. So I was the only one. My 2 older brothers, they kind of doing other stuff, but I was helping to the kitchen to cook for the whole family. But that cooking was very, very rough. We had just the rice and then some bread, like the big bread so almost no real meal, no meat, no nothing. That's really weird. For the whole year, we maybe only have 2 occasions or 3 occasions to have meat in our table. Yeah. So the only thing we had was rice, bread, and a little bit soup. Soup is only vegetable because we grow vegetables around the poor houses. So at age of 7 or 8 in the summer, so everybody went out to the field, farm field, to do the thing the whole day. So I was in charge of the whole thing to cook for the whole family. But it was very, very low quality.
So what would you today make for yourself if you had to make one dish?
In the last 20 years, I don't cook for myself. I don't eat a lot, actually. I'm a big fan of Subway sandwiches. Big fan. So I'm a McDonald's guy, sandwich guy.
Really?
Subway, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
what do you eat at McDonald's?
The Big Mac.
Really?
The trio. Yeah.
I have never even had a Big Mac. I don't think.
That's why I'm not supposed to be a restaurant owner. So I don't sell.
That's why you're like, it's a little this.
I cannot sell because my even eating habit is not good. Me you eat everything. You have the feeling everything. For me, just I eat, survive. Do not put too much weight on myself.
It's incredible.
I'm a very simple guy. And also I don't buy clothes. Literally, I wearing this. I bought it 2004 in London. I bought this.
So you got all dressed up for me.
It's a Beckham. It's baby Beckham.
Oh, it's a bandit like Beckham.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's the real one.
He wore it.
No, but it's the one. I have probably 100 pounds, like the expensive one.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I wear it like for 18, 19 years already. So I don't buy clothes. I'm really, the people saying saving environment or something. The bad thing, saving environment, do not buy.
I see.
When you don't produce, you don't pollute. When you don't buy, You don't.
No, I fully appreciate
I'm the
what you're
minimum.
saying.
I'm the minimum.
I'm a minimalist as well, but I do love food. That's my
Food is okay.
Food is my.
It's another thing is weird because when I was super poor in the village, we did not have a lot of meat, a lot of meal at all. So the 2 occasions or 3 is like Chinese New Year. You have some real meat, and the other is people die, funeral or wedding. You have gatherings, relatives, family, remote family, whatever relatives. So once 2 or 3 times, it depends how many people die.
That's crazy.
How many new baby born?
Yeah.
How many people get married? So on average, maybe 2 other occasions in the whole year, you had some real meal. But since after I grew up, and then we had a money, a nice job, and then we had, can literally eat meat every day. But then I never been fan of eating meat.
It's interesting.
Never.
Even now that you can I help myself while
Yeah, for sure. Even today, I don't eat too much meat. I'm educated vegetarian or some, but even I eat meat, but I really like vegetables.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. So, but I really like fish because we live by a lake. We caught fish by our hands.
Okay.
With my own hands to catch fish. So the fish is freshwater fish is always my thing. But in Montreal, since we really don't have a lot of live freshwater fish, so then I don't have it. I don't miss it. That's my thing. Even the freshwater fish is my favorite food ever. But I don't miss them if I don't have them. Then I still like my Subway sandwiches if I see them every day. But if I go back to my village, my father, dad always get the real wild fish, freshwater fish.
Just for you?
Yeah. He can tell. He can tell the same fish is like a farmed or or the wild. But I cannot tell. But he can. We're living by water all the time. He's 70. Hey. He's pretty old. He's 77 years old already.
He's young.
In the village, villages they walked up. They walked up. The whole body is damaged I guess 20 years. When you are 50, 40 something, your body is done. Your all joints. Yeah, my mom. Every time it's 30 years ago. My mom always said, "How do you feel like your body is fine?" The same answer. She said, everywhere hurts. Everywhere, all joints, weight, lower back, upper back, whatever, neck, knee, ankle, everywhere hurts. That's all her life.
Oh, what are your brothers' professions? Like, what did they all do in their?
My middle brother is he went into a factory for cloth making. So he kind of stable job actually. It's a migrant worker, went to Hangzhou, a kind of big city. They have used 20 years ago a lot of factories to make clothes. So he was kind of over years, so he got some techniques, whatever, got good at that. So right now he went back to we call county. It's a level and the city, not above. Okay. It's a county, so still like a rural area, but they have got a lot of OK factories. So he's stable there, so got a job there. But my oldest brother, who's 7 years older than me, so he's still in the countryside doing somebody put a new house, so doing the construction.
Okay.
Once a while, 20 days a month, you get a little project here, so they give the money to you. Every day give you kind of some money. So it's still the village.
Are they surprised that you are in this industry when they think about it?
Interesting, yeah. But they always value you had a stable office job. So, but I was lucky. I got all the time. The first job was top company in China.
I know.
2001. So you get the savings from the first savings ever, from the first job. Then came here, I worked the first company, the IT company worked for 2 years. The second working for 12 years before the pandemic, right beginning of the pandemic. So 14 years IT job. So 5 years, 19 years, 18, 19 years IT job. But then when I told them like I want to have a restaurant on the side. So they said, "Oh, it's good to make extra money." That's what their impression.
Interesting. And now, what do they think? Are they just like, "Wow"?
Actually,
do they communicate that way?
I only talk to them once 4 or 5 months over WeChat, because right now you don't make international phone calls at all. So that thing is dead.
Really?
So everything through the video chat.
Oh, sorry. Yes, of course.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
So the calling card dead. I used to use the calling card or whatever.
Yes.
It's gone. So we use a WeChat.
I'm just gonna eat. You talk.
Yeah. So like what? I'm too busy. But also my parents, we just don't have a lot of common languages. Whatever is a lot of common topics. Every time I ask my mom is like, "How are you?" She said,
"Sore."
Yeah, everything hurts. And also she would ask, "Do you have another kid?" She stopped.
She just wants more.
Yeah. She was so like it's very, very, very genuine. No, very genuine mom. Like she in her life she's not reading or write, but she's all her life is Christian. She's Christian big time all her life. But every time I was asking the same before, like when we get married, my wife, we never had a kid. We did not plan to have any kid. So every time, your wife pregnant? Your wife pregnant? Every time asking the same question. Even when I was in Shenzhen, like calling her, like, "How are you? Have you eaten?" The first thing, greeting, "Have you eaten?"
Yeah, it's funny. All the Jewish mother, your mother, like it's all the same. Did you eat?
Yeah. Have you eaten? Yeah.
Kids, when you're getting married, grandchildren, it's like you do one thing and then it's like the next question.
Yeah. So is my wife, or like, is she pregnant? Like that's all the time. It's so funny. And like, but have you eaten is the Chinese way of greeting. It's like a hi. It's like a good morning. Like in the village, have you eaten? Maybe people starved, before, hungry before. So in the village, always like we have one row of houses, very kind of bad houses, like broken down, and one row, another row between them. There's a little basic rural road, unpaved road. So you see people passing, maybe neighbors or the other villages they passing. You always ask, "Have you eaten?" If they answer,
if they say no,
you probably you feel like obligated, come to our house to eat if it's a lunchtime. So so you see, as a child, I saw that exchange of every time. Some of them like really like they came to your house like.
What if you had nothing? You're like, wait a sec, I have to.
We just
find
have
some
rice. Yeah, we just have rice, whatever. Everybody has the same basic stuff. So it's have you eaten? That thing is very, very interesting.
I love that.
But in the city, they don't get that tradition anymore. But in the countryside, have you eaten all the time? When you pass from your house to if you go to the town, whatever, to pass the whole village, you will be asked 100 times, have you eaten?
What if you say yes every time? You just keep going in, like sitting down, and I would say yes. I would say no, I have not eaten, and then just get pulled into every family.
It depends. Some people are political. Something even they were hungry. They're on their way to home to have lunch or something.
Like they're too proud?
No, they said they supplied. You just say yes, I had already. You see always people nodding. Yes, I had already. But he's on his way to eat.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so interesting. That's every time have you eaten? That's the good morning thing.
Have I been the guest who eats the most? Am I the guest who eats the most?
Some people, I guess we finished 5 different places with some of them. Yeah. I gained a lot of weight after that. The green bean is very popular.
So do people still bring up the New York Times and the whole?
Once a while from United States, but I guess it's the best timing for us to have the publicity during the pandemic, so people cannot travel. If it's on the regular time, people can travel, we will be overwhelmed. So we're gonna do a really bad job.
Okay.
So it's like a slow, like a simmer thing, go slowly. And also we are not prepared, to be honest. Even today, when I plan the personnel, plan the workload, we try to scale down to give me more time to get understanding of this business. Even today, I kind of I'm super patient. I want to do things properly. I'm still learning this trade to say how can we improve to make it like sustainable. It's a long game. I'm super patient.
What's the hardest part right now, being a restaurant owner?
I think it's inflation, and still the labor market is not good. And also, if you are in downtown, it's pretty bad because the work from home thing is, I guess, I asked some customers, like they work in the bank, they work in the IT.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of, I do kind of a survey thing, like
Mm-hmm.
asking different customers. Probably some people even told me he's working in the bank in McGill. Only 10% people from his company working in the office. So only 10%. Some maybe 20%. So if you see still a lot of people not coming downtown to work, so you still have a similar amount of restaurants. So,
and no bodies.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like the crab, you have to spread out.
Yeah, yeah.
So by average, you will see it's pretty tough. Either you get more or less, but on average, it's getting much less than before. So the cost of everything going up. So is so for me, my understanding, unless you are very, very popular, top tier, customer really love your restaurant. Unless you're that, you don't worry about your customers, But by average, it's beginning of trouble. Even the pandemic ended, but I think it's just the beginning of tough. Mm-hmm. And the whole economic environment is pretty bad right now. A lot of people talking the recession, right? Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it's already beginning the recession. The interest rates, if they hike the interest rates, the business activity just slowing down. It's what they're trying to do, bring down the inflation. If you have the high interest, the big corporation, the cost on their capital, on their borrowing, it's going too higher, and then it's obviously the kind of trickling effect are gonna feel the coldness of the horror of this tightening. So for me, that's why I'm saying like I just want to work more hours to weather the storm, to see how it's next year or the year after.
But I feel, from what I know about you and what made you so famous, is that you're so realistic about what's going on. You're very firmly grounded.
I'm totally grounded. I get, my background is so poor, so bad. So everything, what I have, even today, what I have is 100 times than what I expected already. So I'm super happy. Seriously, like the way I grew up, like if you give me only 1/10 of what I have today, or I even don't need to eat meat or vegetables. I eat rice. I eat 3 bowls. The bowl was this big. I used to eat when I was 10 or 12. I was eating 5 bowls of this rice only. Seriously, only rice, steamed rice, only steamed rice. So the fried rice was luxury. So I was the youngest kid of the family. When I was refusing to eat the what is that? The plain rice, also the very bad made, the big bread. I was refusing that, so I was spoiled by my mom because I was youngest. So he would have more extra, like leftover rice, and the next day just do some little oil and a spring onion to have the fried rice. No egg, just the basic fried rice, and that was the spoil. I was spoiled by that. So the fried rice was already the treat.
It's interesting you say that, because I was just talking, who was I just talking to? Somebody yesterday. I said, they asked me how is it possible that I stay so grateful? Like, what is it that makes you grateful? And I said, my life feels in many ways like a house of cards. every single card that I have that makes up my life, in one big giant breath or wave or wind, something can just easily just fall, because that's life. It's just, we're all in it. Nothing is so concrete that it's never going to change. So every mandate I have, every sponsorship I have, every work collaboration I have, I am so grateful. It is true, because it's like everybody is playing a part in keeping my house of cards up. So you have to be grateful for that. It is the absolute truth that without each card, everything would just come down. And then I have to start building it all up again, which is fine. I know I can do it, but it also makes me very grateful for all the cards that I have. It's just, if I have to have soup one night, I'm like, I have soup one night. If I have 3 items in the fridge, I tell my girls, we're going to do something with the 3 items. Like nothing is going to waste, because they'll walk into the kitchen and say, there's no food. I'm like, just sit back. You know, like there's a cauliflower, there's kale, there's tofu, and I always have rice. It's the mentality. It's like they still, because it's magic. Their mom goes into the kitchen and I pull it all together. But if they walked in, it's like they know if they say to me, there's nothing to eat. It's like the mother in me. It's like, what do you mean? Of course there's something to eat. I have to feed you. And then we sit down and we have a beautiful meal. But the appreciation is, like you're saying, it's like when you grow up a certain way, when you look at the world a certain way, you truly, truly feel grateful for what you have.
But if I don't have the small family, my daughter and the wife, I will be
like Subway,
no,
Starbucks.
Actually, I will go to a mountain, be a monk. I'm very spiritual sometimes. I'm crazy. Seriously, I'm really crazy. Some idea I want to be by myself, but right now I have a small family, I have the responsibility, you know. Otherwise, I was really naive. When I was 15, 16 years old, we were like saying like, I don't worry about the world. The worst case I can do is go to the harbor or the port to carry those concrete bags, you know, those bags, grains, make a living and do a simple life. I still think that way. It's like me, I'm very simple. I kind of growing up like really, really poor, and then it can give you the very different perspective.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But with a small family to support, I have to work 7 days a week. You know, have to. Otherwise, I'm being totally myself in a kind of somewhere a monk in the mountain.
Well,
I read books. You know, it's I like reading whatever, because you have nothing to lose. You know, it's if you don't want to get too much, if you don't want too much, you don't lose anything. You know, some people it's the stuff you want keep you happy.
I could not agree more. In fact, my late father was a very successful dentist, and we were 4 kids because I have 3 brothers. But he was very strict because he grew up, you know, without, and he loved saying no to us. Everything was no. Can we have? No. Can we have? No. So we always wanted something the other kids had, but then we just had to accept the fact that we were not wearing Nike shoes. We were not going to wear polo collar shirts and have cars and access. He made it so we always had the difficulty, and then we would feel good if we won, if we raised money or we worked for it, and then we would have the appreciation. And in my marriage, when I was married, the big house, top of the hill, the cars, all of that stuff, I didn't care. I was so young and it was all happening. I was like, I don't care. I have babies I have to take care of. Now I'm on my own. I have this like tiny little house, tiny little things. Everything is simple. It's so simple that when the pandemic hit, my kids were more than okay. We were more than okay because we had already been living our life in appreciation, with gratitude. We don't have big wants. We don't have big disappointments that we can't have this or we can't have that. It was like, I have to say, you really know you're living the monk life or the true simplified existence if you were not rocked by the pandemic. I'm talking in your home with your family. because we were all kind of stuck with
How old is the youngest?
15.
15. Okay, you have 3 more years to go. It's a little bit worried.
Yeah, she's 15. My son is going to be 22, and my daughter's going to be 23.
Wow.
And I turned 49. But I like
That's
that
amazing.
they still have to struggle. Like they each have jobs, and there's no car, so they can't call me and
I
say
guess
it's raining out.
Everything's gonna turn out great. Seriously, I don't like worrying too much because they are young, even 15, when they grow up 18, 19, when they face a new world, like the GPT thing, AI thing, people worry about all this, it will turn out fine. They adapt, they're gonna learn small mistakes and then they will be doing better than us.
Oh yeah, they're so resilient.
Yeah.
Even my daughter,
they're gonna figure out.
Go get an Opus card. She goes to get an Opus card.
Yeah.
She didn't have a phone until just now. I got her a phone because she was doing a lot of traveling for school. She has to take a metro bus, and it's all the way in the deep plateau. And I was like, okay, if anything should happen, she's 15. I told her she has to contribute to the phone bill, etc. But she's savvy. She's not waiting for her mother to come pick her up. She knows the metro line. She knows. Sometimes I say to her in the morning, why didn't you leave to school yet? She goes, because I know when the bus is going to arrive, so I only need 3 minutes to walk to the corner. And their survival
there's a lot of skills.
Pretty wild, and resilience is pretty wild.
It's a lot of skills.
Very impressed by, I kind of am being with my kids the way my dad was. Everything is no. Everything is no. And it's funny because when I was a kid, I would be like, I'm not going to be that kind of parent. And then, of course, can we have no? But they're appreciative for it. And last night at my birthday, my girls, we have this ritual. Anybody's birthday, we have to go around the table and say 3 of our favorite things or a memory or something about each birthday person. So last night it was my turn. And, you don't think your kids are watching. You think that they're so busy, they're not paying attention to you as a dad or your wife as a mom. But last night reminded me that my kids are always watching me. They're always observing everything that I do, which is why we have to lead by example as best as we can, because our kids are watching. And they were telling me things that blew my mind about how what I do in my work, what I do in the community, what I do for them as a mother in the
Super
family.
smart, they're watching you.
You're like, you do it all by yourself, you're on your own, and what you've done, and you redid your whole career so many different times. I'm like, wow, you're really in it.
Super smart.
It was beautiful. So my point is that they do watch us, and they are taking in what we're doing.
My wife is strict. I always say she has a big hammer, even on myself. So she's tough. She's a tough mom. And then I'm really relaxing. I like the way I treat my daughter is very. You can do whatever. It's very nice. Then I love my daughter. She's really like her mom, not like to me, and straight to my face. Say not good, something like that. That's why I say she's super smart. You always be nice to the tough guy.
She's warmed up to her mom knowing.
Really high IQ, even though I'm much nicer to her than her mom, but she's not nice to me, and then nicer to her mom. So that means super smart. You can survive very well. That's the high IQ,
Yeah. And EQ, her EQ is high.
Oh, sorry, the EQ I mentioned. The EQ is really high because this is the big guy, maybe a bad guy, but you have to be nice to that bad guy, because it's big. And when the nice come, you don't have to be nice to the nice guy.
Because he's going to love you no matter what. And he's going to give it to you anyway.
It's a high EQ, high EQ.
Survival.
Yes, it's I don't complain, but I see that, how come, I took you here, there, always nice, I don't give you extra requirement, no extra homework, everything fine here, and then your mom give you all kinds of stuff, even some,
chores,
displaying you crazy, even I say, is that too much? But then I ask her, how do you think your mom? I like her, I really like her. Seriously, I even don't like her.
You're like, you can tell me.
Yeah, but she's really smart, saying you feel genuinely she like her mom. Even mom was crazy a lot of times, get a lot of stuff, For me, even the workload, the extracurriculum stuff going on, not tired. 10 years old, not tired. And then like a lot of like the words like the mom used on her saying like you do this and like that's too much to me. I would have hate this mom. But then she said, I really like her.
That's
like,
amazing.
Yeah, even between us, we don't have to lie, But
I won't tell.
Yeah, exactly. Then like I don't like you on my face. I'm the cool, I really like everything relaxing. That's the high EQ. I really said you're gonna be fine.
Yes.
You're gonna be fine.
It's that EQ.
Yeah. The EQ is pretty high, It's me. Like if I see a bad guy, but it's a bully, I probably say, I stay away, but I don't get into your face to fight against. I'm the surviving. I'm here to survive. It's very, very interesting.
Oh my gosh.
I always think I have a little bit good EQ, so that's passing along,
Well, I think to have a little bit of both.
Yeah. So it's interesting. That's my observation to my daughter. It's like even I don't talk a lot. It's like even every morning I send her to the school in the car. She was using the Spotify on my Spotify. Hey, you using the use the data every time. Like she was playing on the Spotify like songs like using my data data plan. Like and she's getting out of the car and say, hey, can we hug? No. Give me your hand. No. It's brutal.
Yeah.
Used to like when I took her to Alomon Coco, took her to some breakfast place. She was 4, 5, 3. We're hugging, everything great. And no hands. Not even touching hand. No hugging. Sometimes, how much do you weigh? Okay, I get how much do you weigh?
I have to say,
pretty tough for me.
It could be just her temperament, but all 3 of my kids never went through the don't hug me, don't be my mom, don't, maybe my son once when I went to pick him up at school when he was in high school and he was at an all boys school at Loyola and they were all outside and I pulled up in the car and came around and they were like, that's your mom? And then I got back in the car and he was saying goodbye to them and he got in the car with me. He's like, I don't know if you could pick me up again. I said, would you prefer to have like a scary gorilla for a mother? Or he's like, yeah, I guess you're right. It is okay.
So everything good to mom. This mom, I even don't like. Seriously, so serious. My wife is really serious on education, academic, the homework, everything. The going to like figure skating, everything. She was so strict, like no fun. Like for me, like it's interesting. But then she hug her, kissing her. He really like her. It's not
kids. It could switch again though. They go back and forth like who their favorites are.
Very smart because you don't need to care daddy's feelings. You don't have to because that is easy going. Can push around.
You know what you should do for your birthday is do what I do. You make your daughter and your wife say all the beautiful things about you.
No, I'm super shy on that one. In my whole life, in our family with my father and dad and mom, we never say I love you. Never in whole life. We even don't talk too much, seriously. But
you?
Yeah. We never say. I never said ever to my parents like I love you. Not in the like a rural village or something. It's never happened. It's kind of a.
You just know it.
Yeah,
You don't need to say it.
Yeah, it's even you don't talk about a lot of things. But last trip, right before the pandemic, I went to China. Like brought my daughter. She was 6 years old first time. But then I had some conversation with my dad. It's kind of about society, kind of what kind of reform to the villages, to the farmland. That kind of discussion. But usually we even you can do whatever. I bring you a pillow. Seriously.
It's more I have to stand. I have to stand. I have to pay more money on the meter. Hold on.
The only thing matters is the audio. You can lie down. It's only the oil. Don't worry.
No, but I have to just pay the meter, and we may have
Get
to.
the you can do whatever. Yeah.
Just because
You have back issue. I have back issue.
I won't be able to. I'm gonna pay the meter a little bit, and we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
Because my back is. I can't. That's the longest that I.
I forgot. Probably you should put the pillow at the beginning.
Nothing would have helped. A491.
Let me eat a little bit.
Go eat.
What restaurants like you kind of with the owner or chef like you worked like it's kind of a little bit not that high end or like
well,
because a lot of them I see like a lot of them very classy.
yes, because
Also, a lot of chefs they have tattoo. You know, when I see chef with tattoo, I have a little bit extra respect somehow.
they can take pain.
Yeah.
When I do my research, I was very drawn to chef-owned restaurants. So the chef was the owner, and he was the chef in the kitchen, because I felt like
it's supposed to be that way.
That story is interesting. Whereas if you go into a big restaurant, there's there's cooks.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of cooks in the kitchen, which is beautiful. Yeah. Everyone has their story, but I felt very centered around the chef's journey, the chef's story. And it made my life easy because when I would film, it was just that person telling the story. Now that I've expanded and with social media and with different ways to film, I can go into many restaurants and many different places and tell a lot more stories. It doesn't have to be now this like chef story, chef driven, chef owned. Now I can go and speak to restaurant owners, restaurateurs, visionaries, mixologists, all the different types of people in the industry and hospitality. I've opened up my conversations.
Like crazy ones like me. I don't know how to cooking.
No,
I don't like eating.
Yeah.
I don't even like eating.
Everything and anything. When I was writing at the Gazette, the subject was chef-owned restaurants. Those were my picks. Yeah. So it looked very high-end because those stories, I guess, were around chefs who had really made a name for themselves if they were able to have their own restaurant. But now I'm not at the Gazette anymore and I'm doing my own thing. We can have this moment together. I can walk into a coffee place and be like, oh my God, this coffee. I'm like, let's do something together. Like I have control. I can do whatever I want. So it's
I really like there's a series like the individual, like independent coffee shops. That would be amazing because the coffee, you have, if you are the owner that you have your family small coffee shop, that would be amazing because you can have your own stuff in the coffee. It's not like Tim Hortons or Starbucks.
Never. I wouldn't go and have Tim Hortons coffee if it was my last coffee because I also want to support a more mom and pop type.
I go there because they have a nice app and this we get a lot of points free coffee. I was addicted one time. But when the whole thing, like the points, they don't give you the special offers, I think, it's kind of stop going. It's kind of, I'm the cheap guy.
Well, the thing is, if I'm going to only have one coffee a day, that coffee has to be amazing. It's got to be like everything I do, everything I put in my body, I have to know where it kind of comes from and from who. Yeah. Because it changes for me the way I taste and drink and feel the food. When I know the people behind the restaurant, or I know the people behind the coffee, it tastes different.
Yeah, it's I really like the idea to have the family owned small.
Love it.
Yeah. That's why in the next few years for our restaurant.
Are you making a big announcement right now to me?
No, not at all. I'm always like the boring guy. I have no big news at all in my whole life. Seriously,
No.
It's my idea is like 3 years into the kitchen full time. Now I'm picking up like I have been learning a lot in the kitchen. In the next few years, that's my idea. Always get a small restaurant. It's to give one day I will become a chef myself. To learn. Give me 10, 20 years.
Really?
Yeah, I will become one day, but I'm learning to see like I could be in the front and the back, to explain everything. So that would be to have a really to give my understanding of the food Chinese restaurant. Yeah, because
that's a great idea.
Yeah, it's for me it's kind of silly to be in this business. It's always a mistake for me to be in this business. My strong point I always think is a project manager. Mm-hmm. I always want to be a project manager, a real one, but to deal with people, assign different tasks, like communicate with different people in the group, in the team. But then somehow mistake to have a restaurant. But since I'm in the restaurant for 9 years, so I guess I need to continue, and then I have to take my time to learn from the very beginning. I wash dishes for all 3 years. Yeah, all the dishes I wash by myself I washed in the sink and then wash soap and then I put in the washing machine. So I do the 2 times. So it's a commercial washing machine, but for example, if this dish, the green beans is easy. If you soak them in the sink for some time and then you put them in the tray, it's fine. But the braised pork belly or the twice cooked pork with a lot extra grease, and you have to scrub them first. Even if you have the commercial washing machine, you have to, to soak them and to clean them first, and then use the commercial washing machine, dishwasher to do the high temperature disinfectant, that kind of stuff. Otherwise, it's not clean.
I always tell my kids when they do the dishes, because my kids clean after, and they're like, why do we have to clean the dishes before they go into the dishwasher? I'm like, you have to wash it first before.
Yeah, I did the whole pandemic. During the whole time, I'm in charge of that. All the dishes.
Are you open for lunch?
Yeah, we're open for lunch, but we are the dinner kind of stuff.
Yeah. I was just curious because I've been seeing the. Oh, okay.
But we're not big for lunch. But even the evening now, but it's better than pandemic. A lot better than pandemic time. It's really nice to see people come back. You have conversations with them. That's the thing I have. Probably I'm lucky to be able to talk to a lot of customers. I'm learning French as well. But one day if I can speak to customers in French, English, and Mandarin, that would be amazing. That would be my dream.
I feel like you'll do it.
It's the French is a tough one. It's really tough
even for me, for sure. Yeah, but it's just trying.
Yeah, it's the time. I just don't have a lot of time. And also when I'm 43, 44, then that's not registered too much. Like when I was in university, we were learning English. We literally there's a book actually you have to memorize the vocabulary, the words. There's a book called 5,000 Words. You have to literally memorize the 5,000 words, English words. And the crazy one would be 20,000 words. We just get the book from page 1, page 2, from cover to cover to go through the 20,000. I guess my best was I finished the 5,000 words. So you have to memorize that kind of. But then you go again, for the French, even crazier. For this age, when I was 20.
Yeah, we're a sponge.
Yeah.
It's a sponge.
Yeah. For 20 years old, fine. But then you are 40. doesn't register that much.
I had to study all the bills and learn all the during the campaign, like to know what is bill this, what is bill that, bill this, bill that. I was like, I'm a student again, and it was not easy.
Yeah.
I was like writing with the ruler and having cue cards and studying and learning, and the brain went a lot slower than I remembered.
Hello. I love your restaurant.
Oh, thank you very
It's
much.
the
It is
best.
very good.
Thank
Are
you.
the photographs outside Guangzhou? The River City, is that outside Guangzhou
What is
in
that?
China? The city Guangzhou? H-U.
Oh, the big. No, it's not. It's I guess Suzhou. I guess it's about.
Is it Suzhou?
Yeah, it's.
It looks like Suzhou, but I thought maybe it was another one. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, we're on the video, so we're recording a video.
Oh, really?
It's okay. That's a
Sorry.
perfect.
Thank
No,
you.
what a wonderful addition.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, it's
So I think this is the perfect time to say how grateful I am that you had me as your second time
Yeah, second time.
returning.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I think because I'm so compromised with my back, I'm starting to.
Yeah.
I'm,
you can. Yeah, and we can wrap up, but tell us more about what you're doing in the project.
Oh, I'll tell you
the projects. Yeah,
what I'm working on right now.
you're the food goddess.
The-
Food goddess in Montreal.
The goddess,
Yeah.
yes, the goddess now is working on. My dream with Beyond the Plate had 3 parts to it, kind of like in the movies.
Yeah.
The Godfather 1, 2, 3. You know, it was like trilogy.
Yeah.
I had a trilogy dream. So the first part was the Gazette.
Okay.
The second part was to be on TV.
Yeah.
And the third part, which I'm working on right now, is to have Beyond the Plate in-flight entertainment with Air Canada in the sky.
What is the Air Canada thing?
Air Canada, when you go on the planes and you travel in Canada and you get to watch all the movies or the TV shows, I'm working on a plan to be able to watch all the Beyond the Plate episodes so that when you're flying in to Montreal, you can watch them all and then say, oh, I'm going to go eat at this restaurant. I'm going to go eat at that restaurant. And so all the national flights with Air Canada, that's what I'm
That's amazing.
working on right now. And I'm going to be filming again this summer. And
Next time you can filming me for representing Subway sandwiches.
no, next time we're going to film to have you in Air Canada with me in the sky so everybody comes here.
I eat sandwich. Subway. Subway is my favorite. Yeah.
Never. No Subway.
Yeah.
But thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you a lot. Thank you. Okay, wait, right here.
Yay!